The Alternative Experience.
The Alternative Experience.
The Alternative Experience.
Hey everybody, welcome to Alternative Experience. So today's episode, why I eat as an opportunistic omnivore. Okay, most people on the internet are tribal about their diets. They're tribal about bloody everything, to be quite honest. But you've got vegans, carnivores, the keto crowd, the paleo crowd, you name it. And while all of these approaches have their merits, I've always found the rigid adherence to any single tribe, what's the word? Perplexing. So I'm Nicky Joe, and today I want to share why I eat as what I call an opportunistic omnivore, why I don't pledge allegiance to one dietary ideology, and how understanding our evolutionary biology and our current biology can help us to eat in a way that truly nourishes both body and mind. And there are a few things I'm going to add to this with a follow-up podcast as well. But let's start with vegans and carnivores, because they really illustrate the extremes right now. Vegans often see incredible benefits, especially when they switch from the typical Western diet. Whole foods, less processed sugars, more fiber. Obviously, it's amazing to the body. But here's the catch. When they reach what I call with my clients ground zero, that point of full nutritional reset, they sometimes ignore the nutritional gaps. So take just one thing, vitamin B12 for example. Vegans cannot get this naturally from plants. Supplementation is necessary. But the vegan form of B12 is actually synthesized, it's not even real, and it's synthesized using a cyanide molecule. Now, dose by dose, this is fine. But over time, if you're having to take these every day to get your RDA of vitamin B12, it can accumulate. Now, B12 is crucial. It's literally needed for DNA production. Carnivores, on the other hand, they eat in a way that can be, theoretically, could cover all nutrient bases. But tribal carnivores can also get militant, ignoring a lot of the nuances. Now, both extremes miss something fundamental, that we humans are opportunistic omnivores, and we always have been. So we evolved to eat what was available when it was available. Our ancestors did not have labs, B12 injections, or processed supplements. They ate based on instinct and knowledge. So they knew to go for the foods that kept them fuller for longer, foods that tasted good and were safe, didn't make them ill. So that would have included seasonal fruits, potentially some vegetables, although they're slightly less palatable, bearing in mind they couldn't cook their foods. And they would have definitely raided the occasional bee's nest for honey. Our biology also adapts to ancestral environments. Now, descendants of populations with an abundance of animal-based foods may be better adapted to metabolize them. So those from fruit-abundant regions may tolerate carbs better. And this is the addition I'm going to be sort of talking to you about, because I've been looking into the blood type diet. So keep an eye out for a follow-up to this. But here's the key. Meat builds and nourishes the body and the brain. Plants act more like a medicine. They signal stress, they modulate inflammation, and they have therapeutic properties. Both are important, but I believe for very different reasons. So let's break it down scientifically. Animal foods provide building blocks: retinol, B12, riboflavin, DHA, iron, structured fats, none of which are bioavailable in plants, full stop. These foods support DNA, hormone production, mitochondria, and brain health. Plants, on the other hand, act therapeutically, even their mechanisms of action within the body. You've got polyphenols, flavonoids, anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial properties. They are medicine. They're not building blocks. Even fruits, which are technically plants, work very differently. Unripe fruits, they're toxic. They're protective. Ripe fruits, however, signal that they want to be eaten, helping to spread their seeds. And that's why I consume them opportunistically. Moderation, timing, and ripeness obviously matter. So how does this translate to everyday life? Very simple for me. Number one, I prioritize animal-based foods for nourishment. Okay, my proteins, fats, organ meats, they're my building blocks, and they're what keep me satiated and nourished for longer. Number two, I include plants strategically, mostly as medicine or maintenance, or when I crave them, because that means my body needs the substances that they contain. Three, fruits are eaten opportunistically for enjoyment and micronutrients, usually at peak ripeness. But again, back in the day, we would have eaten them seasonally when they were available on the trees. So try and think about it in that way. Four, daily fasting is absolutely crucial. We were not designed to eat 3 meals a day and be in a perpetual state of digestion. Giving the body time to digest, reset, and perform autophagy is actually key for long-term health, no matter what diet you eat. This isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding what your body actually needs and obviously what you might be doing to yourself when you do fall off the wagon. I've always been a bit of an anomaly because I do not marry myself to a single idea. I never have. I move with information. I experiment and I respect my own experience. Big influencers who pivot their messaging, such as Paul Saladino, there aren't very many of them, I really respect that. Tribal purists, less so. I don't like the word flip-flop. People use flip-flop when new information comes out and people move with that information or personal experience. Ultimately, whether you eat animal-based, plant-based, or something in between, understand the biology between your choices, stay curious, and be willing to adapt. Be an opportunistic omnivore in thought and action. Your body and your mind will thank you for it. So if you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe, share it with someone who's tired of the diet tribes, and follow me for more insights into practical, biology-based nutrition and lifestyle. Remember, food is information, not just fuel. Use it wisely. See you next week, guys. The Alternative Experience.
The Alternative Experience.
The Alternative Experience.